Elon Musk has promised that he's gonna make Twitter better to use, have less spam, and make it more fair and neutral. Now, of course, he's been responding nonstop to right-wing grifters and con artists this entire time, calling into question which side he actually is most interested in. Neutrality doesn't really seem to be it when you're responding to these people. But understand that the right-wing concern about Twitter has always been that they're not fair enough to right-wingers, that they shadow ban them. Now, bear in mind that research projects have shown that the algorithm of Twitter advantages right-wingers, not just in America, but in countries around the world, more so than it does the left. But they have had a problem with the idea of shadow banning, even if they could never prove that it was actually happening. It is apparently coming now. Take a look at this.
But if we can get enough verified users, and we're going to prioritize Twitter search, replies, mentions by verified users first. And yeah, this is if your payment verified with blue checkmark, then you're prioritized, and hateful conduct pays. But if somebody risks losing even $8, the net effect will be over time that the verified users will pretty much always be at the top of comments and search, and you won't really see, you'll have to scroll far to see the unverified users, which will be the bots and trolls and whatnot.
Okay, so that was incredibly clear. They are going to be shadow banning people who don't pay them, okay? They'll say it as the people who pay us are advantaged, but if you don't pay, your replies, your tweets will be pushed down by the algorithm, okay? So they've been saying they don't like shadow banning. They're introducing shadow banning. They're going to extort money out of you, or else your replies and comments and all of that will not be seen by the people you want to see it. It took less than 2 weeks to move from comedy is legal, everything's gonna be neutral, we're down with the shadow banning, to reversing on literally every part of that, Dan.
Yeah, I don't think conservatives realize this yet, because this was predicted by a lot of folks that he is going to have to go back on many of the promises that he made by buying Twitter, that he was going to get rid of shadow banning, that he was going to get rid of bots, he's going to expose some of the things that are being done on all these platforms. But yeah, he's gonna have to go back on all these things because he's gonna have to run a business that advertisers want to be on. I mean, yet another thing he tweeted was saying that something like back in the day, this is how news used to be carried or whatever, and it was like a soldier carrying birds in the background. That was actually referencing a like Nazi imagery or something like that. Like, eventually, Elon Musk is gonna have to realize, advertisers may not want to advertise and spend money on a website where the CEO is tweeting Nazi imagery at random. Like, it's just a surprise. Like, you may not know this, but you may wake up and realize that you, chief marketing officer at Pepsi, is advertising on the Nazi website run by yet another American Nazi adjacent car lover. Yeah, which we tend to be doing a lot of in this country, but shout out Henry Ford.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I think that the idea that right wingers have of what Twitter will become is untenable monetarily. But understand there is a sort of middle ground where they don't allow you to literally just spam the N-word in all caps, but they manipulate the algorithm to benefit right wingers even more. They introduce this shadow banning, creating a literal class system for social media. There are all sorts of bad things they can do that subvert the idea, the spirit of Twitter, while still technically providing enough cover that GM is willing to start advertising on it again. And we're gonna see over the next few months, over the next year or two, exactly what they end up doing there. But does anybody at this point actually think that him taking over will make it better for its actual users? It's already making it more expensive. Just to maintain the status quo where you can tweet a thing and people will see it, you now have to effectively pay Netflix bucks for that. Who's happy about this change? How has this benefited anyone other than the wealthiest man in the world and right-wing propagandists? Honestly, at this point. Anyway,
my last thing is that like these people have like they have $8. We see how much right-wingers can raise. We see how much these like right-wing libertarians who straight up don't believe in democracy, who are like right-wing adjacent, they have a lot of money. They have a lot more than $8. They can flood this entire website with accounts. It's just a game of when the public realizes that Twitter is not the space it used to be versus how fast this misinformation can spread. Way to go, Elon Musk. You're supercharging fascism in this country.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.